This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to do quick introductions and a little bit of housekeeping. We'll start with the introductions today. We have Junior Counselor Brenna Gummany.
Hi.
We have second Junior Counselor Janine Boulanger.
Good evening, everyone.
We have Counselor Ron Mamchuk.
Good evening, everybody.
Counselor Shane Peltier.
Good evening, everyone.
Counselor Curtis Clayton.
Good evening, everyone.
We have our CAO Mitch Duval.
Good evening.
And our Planning Officer Tanya Waddell in the background.
Good evening.
And myself, Mayor Chris Ewan. So for tonight's council meeting, we will be doing it online as per usual. We'll be voting through our software system, and the CEO will be reading the vote after they've been casted. When we get to the public hearing section, I will just give a quick housekeeping rule on that as well, but we will get the meeting started. Open it up here. Okay, item 1, meeting call to order. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second?
Councillor Boulanger.
Councillor Boulanger seconds it. Any comments? Seeing none, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. The meeting's open at 7:01 p.m. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Second?
Councillor Peltier.
Thank you. Any additions, edits, comments, discussion on this before we continue? I'd like to see this go through the motions as listed on the agenda.
Just some clarification, Mr. Mayor, on we've got subdivision applications in 2 spots here.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Peltier. You did mention that before. So, Mr. CEO, we're looking at, is it 5.3? Councillor Peltier, yeah, 5.3 subdivisions, but then we jump to new and other business and there's more subdivision applications. Should that be under the section 5.3, Mr. CEO?
No, the first subdivision regarding Mr. Trudeau's land is a public hearing because of a road being created in the subdivision, so a public hearing is required. The other 2, I believe, are non-public hearings, so that's why we split them apart that way. So just to try to keep them separate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, no other questions. Please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 3, adoption of minutes. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second?
Councillor Peltier.
Councillor Peltier, thank you.
The minutes of a regular meeting of April 7th are drafted. We gave 3rd reading to the parking bylaw. We also gave 1st reading to a rezoning amendment and the tax levy bylaw. Just a reminder to council and people in the audience that the financial presentation for the 2021 financial plan will be held on May 5th at 7 p.m. We also authorized some purchases for the Public Works Department. We resolved some fencing issues in the Turon Creek subdivision. Council also passed a motion regarding the spring and fall cleanup along with the grass clipping program. And Council also passed a bursary in the honor of our fellow colleague, General Robert.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Any questions from Council? Discussion?
Not here.
None here.
Not here.
If none, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item 4.1, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Boulanger.
Thank you. Second?
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you.
So we have 2 batches of unpaid invoices. The first batch totaling $2,710, basically just a tax refund, I think a double payment made by the banks. The second is 14,804 in the amount of $132,130. Basically 3 bigger ticket items, GFL with their garbage and recycling for the month of March, I believe, as well as some the server project through MicroAge, as well as the St. Rat Water District Conservation District for 15,000, as indicated in the CFO's report. There were also some other minor bills under Public Works and Utilities for regular street sweeping and utility maintenance, lift station maintenance.
Thank you very much. Is there any comments or questions from council?
Not here.
Nope.
Okay, so none, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 4.2, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Counselor Mamchuk,
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Belanger.
Pelletier.
Councillor Belanger takes it. Thank you.
So payroll 8 is from March 27th to April 10th. You can tell that spring has sprung as there's been more bank hours on behalf of administration. Just a few for Public Works, but I anticipate that as spring rolls out, we're going to be getting more and more busy. So basically, I have no concerns with the amount of hours that are being put in by staff. The first quarter of the fire department is also there for your approval. No questions there as well. No comments, sorry.
Thank you very much. Is there any comments or questions from council?
not here.
Not here.
No, it's all good.
Please cast your vote. Pardon me.
That vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. We'll be moving on to public hearings now. Before I open up the first public hearing, I just want to go over quick housekeeping. So the way public hearings work is we will open the public hearing. I will ask anyone wishing to speak in favor first, that's in the office, then in favor on the computer or online by phone. And then we'll read anything out, and then we'll go into anyone wanting to speak against that's in the office, anyone wishing to speak against that's online or on the phone, and then we'll read that out as well. I do ask that you please keep your microphone and your screen blank and muted until you would like to speak. And I will just ask again if anyone would like to speak, and you will say your name quickly and I will present you. So having said all of that.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, may I
Yeah.
interject? One of the callers cannot hear anything. So is there any advice that we can give him to try to get, and it's important because this is his hearing right now. So is there anything we can tell him to try to troubleshoot to get volume on?
Yeah, I will pass that to either Tanya, Mitch, or Shane, because they seem to be the tech gurus here.
I'm just going to go grab my phone so I can communicate with him. I'll be right back.
Number one, I would check the speaker volume on his laptop, if he's on his laptop. To maybe increase that if possible. Councillor Boulanger, do you know if he's on his phone or on a laptop?
Let me ask.
You could probably just get Mr. Balkin to run over to your house, Janine, and join you in the office.
You could.
If
Yeah.
he's got his cell phone, patch him in via your laptop, if that's
He's on a
possible.
laptop. Sorry, he's on a laptop.
Can he call in?
I'm going to call him right now. Maybe he has it muted. Hi, Ron. We're trying to troubleshoot you right now.
Can he hear us?
Yeah, you're muted, but you can't hear us though, right? Is your laptop muted? Like, don't mute your laptop. You have to mute your microphone on the app. Oh,
Can you-
okay. Okay, just give me a second. Yes,
Can he see us?
you can see us, right? Yes, they can see it.
I will
Little-
attempt something. Go ahead.
Little wheel in the top right, Janine?
Yeah, so there's a little wheel on
Settings.
the top. Do you see it for settings? Okay, so click on that.
And then check what his speaker setting is.
What is your speaker setting? And your volume is all the way up? Obviously asking obvious questions.
There's an option in that wheel thing too, correct, Shane, where he can just look at the phone number and dial in there?
Do you want to maybe just dial in then? There's an option to dial in so you can hear through your phone. So you can see us online and then use your phone for the audio. Where would he find that? On the email, right?
No. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at the email, there'll be a phone number on the email. So I'll hang up. Do you want to try that? Okay. Bye.
Is Mr. Balkan the first one?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Does council want to wait to see if we get success with that, or do you want to go on to the next public hearing?
Do you want to give him some time to sort it out and maybe go on to the next one? Or no?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we'll go to 5.1.2 V5-2021 Sonic Sin 1181 Habitant Road, vary site width.
Alrighty. Throwing me for a curveball here already. All right. The application is to vary the width of proposed lot 6 from 100 feet to 61.36 feet as a condition of the subdivision file 4165-20-792. The notice was sent out to every property within 100 meters of the said area, as well as sent to the McDonald-Richot Planning District, Richot Manager, Building Inspector, Council, CEO, Fire Chief. Was also posted at the Ile de Seine Country Store, Ile de Seine Hotel, posted at the municipal window, and also on our municipal website. No connect message was sent out.
Thank you very much. I lost my page here. Okay, I will open the public hearing at 7:13 p.m. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor in the office? Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor online? Is there anything received in favor?
Nothing received in favor.
Is there anyone wishing to speak against in the office?
No, there's not.
Is there anyone wishing to speak against online? Is there anything received against?
Nothing received against.
Okay, one last call. Is there anyone wishing to make any comment to speak in favor or against in person or online or by phone? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 7:14 p.m. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk,
Thank you. Councillor Pelletier, second.
Give us time.
I'll just have caller 2, please mute your microphone. Just press mute, please. You're getting a bit of feedback.
Maybe that's how we lost them in the first place,
That's-
but anyway.
Yeah, those are the Balkans.
All right,
Okay.
the resolution reads, therefore be resolved that variation application V5-2021 to vary only lot 6 from 100 feet to 61.36 feet is approved.
Thank you. I will open it up for council discussion. Council, anything you'd like to say?
Just
No.
as a reminder to council, in the subdivision application that was filed with the province, it was recommended that a variation for lots 4, 5, and 6 be part of the condition. However, in doing the surveying and the measurements, because of these odd shaped pilots, Barnes and Noble, I believe, were the ones who, or Keystone went in and measured 40 feet back from the front of the property, which is the proper way of determining the proper frontage. Only lot 6 is determined required to have a variation. Lot 4 and 5 are okay. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, Mr. Shield. Is there any discussion on that matter?
No,
Well, it
pretty
looks like
straightforward.
Sorry, it looks like lot 5 is just under 100. Are we're okay with that? 99.8, is that what it says?
Yes, that could be deemed as a minor variation on behalf of administration.
I see, got it. Okay.
Yeah, 99 loop balloons are fine. Case seeing no other comments or discussion from council. Council, please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, we will move back up to 5.1.1. I just want to confirm that I think it's Mr. Balkan that we were having a hard time connecting with, that he is on the line now before I open that public hearing. Mr. Balkan, can you confirm that you're here?
And he has to unmute his call.
Hello? Yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ron, keep your computer muted and then just talk to the phone.
Sorry about that. There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Hey, sorry about that. Yep, we're good here. I'll shut this off right away.
Thank you. Okay, so item 5.1.1 V4-2021, Balkan, 1953 Kariga Road, very accessory building height and east side yard.
Correct. The proposal is to vary the maximum height of an accessory building from 17 feet to 23.32 feet, and to vary the minimum east side yard from 15 feet to 5 feet for the purpose of building a detached garage. Again, notices were sent out to surrounding neighbors, as well as sent to the McDonald Richot Planning District, the Richot manager, building inspector, council, CEO, fire chief, was posted on site and on our municipal board window and municipal website. No connect message was sent out.
Thank you very much. I'll open the public hearing at 7:18 p.m. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor in person?
No, there is not.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor online? Mr. Balkan, if you wanted to say anything, now would be the time. Okay, is there anything received in favor?
There is a document that has been filed with council in support. It's basically a pre-consent that I believe Mr. Balkan went around to his surrounding neighbors and got them to sign. So council all has that in front of them.
Council, you're okay with not reading the letter out because you've seen it, correct?
Correct.
You, okay, is there anyone wishing to speak against online? Is there anyone wishing to speak against in person?
No, there is not.
Is there anything received against?
Nothing received against.
Thank you. One final call if anyone wanted to make any final comments, discussion. in favor or against comments, submissions? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:20 PM. Do I have a mover?
Councillor
Clayton.
Mamchuk,
Oh, geez, that's Councillor Mamchuk, I believe, seconded it.
Okay, the resolution would read, therefore be resolved that variation application V4 2021 to vary the allowed maximum height of an accessory building from 17 feet to 23.32 feet and the east side of the yard from 15 feet to 5 feet as defined in the RM of Richot zoning bylaw 9-2019 is amended as approved, subject to the following conditions: that the maximum size of all accessory buildings on the property must not exceed 2,400 square feet. The applicant must obtain a building permit for the accessory building from the RM of Richot office. A copy of an engineer's stamp architectural plans are required for a building permit, and the accessory building is to be used for personal use, and any other use required will require conditional use.
Thank you very much. Go
Just a
ahead.
reminder to council that when we talk about the heights of the building, it is from the base, so ground level, to the mean, which is between the eave and the peak of the building.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Is there any, I'll open up for discussion from council. Council, do you have anything to add or discuss or comments?
None here, just that he's done his due diligence to go around to the neighbors. I don't know if we've ever seen that before. Presenting the drawings. From what I understand, it's going to look just like his house. And if you guys know what his house looks like, it's pretty nice. So I think he's just trying to improve the look of his yard and keep his stuff inside to keep it all clean.
No, for sure. Thank you, Councillor Belanger. Anything else? Being none, council, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5.2.1, C9-2021, Aero Exteriors Inc., 627 Discovery Drive Industrial Multiplex.
The proposal is to allow an industrial multiplex in the commercial general zone, CG, consisting of 3 units. Again, under the Planning Act, notices were sent to surrounding properties within 100 meters, as well as the McDonald-Richot Planning District, Public Works Manager, Building Inspector, Council, CAO, and Fire Chief, as well posted on site on our municipal office window and on our municipal website, and no connect message was sent out.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll open the public hearing at 7:23 PM. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor in person?
No, there is not.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor online? Is there anything received in favor?
I believe there's a letter that was submitted by the developer regarding the approval of to issue a building permit in this circumstance.
Thank you, council. You do not need the letter read out. We've all seen it. Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak against in person?
No, there is not.
Is there anyone wishing to speak against online? Is there anything received against?
Nothing received against.
Thank you. I will give one last call for anyone wishing to make comments, speak in favor or against, online or in person. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:24 PM. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton.
Councillor Clayton moves it. Second.
Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Therefore, be resolved that conditional use application C9-2021 to allow a 3-unit industrial multiplex in a CG commercial general zone is approved, subject to the following conditions: that the applicant shall enter into a development agreement with the municipality per the zoning bylaw 9-2019, part 5, section 5.17. The applicant shall comply with the municipal noise bylaw 14-2003. 3, that the hours of operation shall be limited from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. 4, that any outdoor lighting must be located, arranged, or shielded so that no light is directed at any neighboring property or roadway. 5, that the applicant ensures that all proposed construction conforms to the Manitoba building codes, fire codes, and any other municipal and/or provincial permits and approvals as may be required. The applicant may wish to seek help of an engineer or architect or other professionals who are certified in this field to ensure compliance. 6, the applicant is to apply for and obtain a building permit from the Armor-Richot office. 7, any additional future units will require another conditional use. 8, that the occupancy permits will be required for each individual unit within the building. Further drawings may be required indicating fire separations depending on proposed occupancies adjacent to one another. 9, that the applicant shall comply with the littering bylaw 5-2011. 10, any signage shall comply with the municipal zoning bylaw 9-2019 part 11. Number 11, that the exterior storage is to be contained within maximum 10-foot privacy fence as per section 326 of the zoning bylaw and hidden from public view. And 12, that the applicant shall provide a signed confirmation letter accepting the terms of this order. There may be site audits conducted to ensure compliance, and any non-compliance issues may be caused to revoke the conditional use at any time.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll open up for council discussion. Council, do you have anything to add, comments?
Out here.
No, fairly simple. Hey,
Yeah,
council.
this was brought to our planning meeting, and I don't think anybody had a problem with it in the park itself, right? Like it's all,
Yeah.
all seems to fit. It's all a good.
Kosher. Perfect. Okay, council, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5.3.1, 4165-21-7982 Trudeau, 19 lots residential.
The proposal is that the subdivision 4165-21-7982 will result in the creation of a public road, a new public road, and as required by the Planning Act, a public hearing is required. Notices were sent out to surrounding properties in the area, as well as sent to the Macdonald-Richot Planning District, to the Community Planning Office in Portage, to the Richot Public Works Manager, Building Inspector, Council, CEO, Fire Chief. It was posted on site as well as posted at the municipal window and municipal website. No connect message was sent out.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll open the public hearing at 7:28 p.m. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor? I should comment, I just spoke with the developer, and if need be, he said to contact him via phone, so I have his number on hand if anyone had comments or questions that needed to be answered by him. So he said he's willing to speak then. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor in person?
No, there's not.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor online? Is there anything received in favor?
Just some comments, so I'll read that. That's been included there. Basically, we have questions about this development. We are not opposed to it, but if truth be told, we'd rather see single-family dwellings instead of a multiplex proposal. Our main concern is how this will impact us and 5 other homes that are on a low pressure sewer system. And this is from Jeff Paulette and family. And I believe the last name is Allen. So that's not in favor, not against, just a letter of concern, I guess.
Thank you. Mr. CEO, did you want to answer that comment now or wait until later?
We could wait until we hear the other sides.
Okay, no, that's fair. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Or sorry, no, is there anyone wishing to speak against in person?
No, there's not.
Is there anyone wishing to speak against online? Was there anything received against?
Yes, there is a letter or an email received from Mark and Yvonne de Voest. I believe these are the neighbors immediately to the north. Council all have a copy of that email. I will give it a quick read for the audience. I would like my questions and concerns with the subdivision to be addressed, please. Number one, the proposal would decrease the value of my property. All existing homes on Lamoureux and Albold face the road, and the proposal would have these duplexes backyards facing my yard, as 85% of the south side is on our property line. What does this do for my privacy? I don't need 20 people in my backyard. Number two, Lamoureux and Arnold do not have wide shoulders. The parking is non-existent and will be like other duplexes in town where everybody parks on the street, as most people have two vehicles. There are also no sidewalks, and pedestrian vehicle traffic will increase greatly. Three, how is this residential? It's commercial. The property would be better suited for houses. Four, the water drainage is a problem on the east side now. What will it be after the development? And five, we have a septic tank. How is the town sewer system going to be able to accommodate these added buildings?
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Before we address any of the comments, I will just ask if there's anyone else wishing to speak against.
Joel, so
Go ahead, Joel.
it's not really against, it's more concern. Are these going to be condos or rentals? Like that's the information I didn't get off that sheet. If they're going to be rentals, what is it going to be, like 55 plus? Is it going to be seniors? Is it going to be open to anybody? Is it going to be low income? And to have them in that spot, it just creates a bottleneck at that corner that I understand there's a new road going to be there, but with the school being so close, and if the traffic ends up parking like they do at the other condos, sooner or later, a kid's going to get hit there. Like people coming out of town, we got a 70-kilometer speed limit on our street here, but they're coming through here at 110. So with added vehicles on the shoulder, that to me it draws a big concern.
No, I appreciate the comments. Councillor Pelletier, I believe you discussed with the his intentions of the units. Did you want to maybe comment on that?
It will be geared towards adult living, since we can't say 55 plus anymore. They are looking at that being as adult living. It's on just a small crawl space, so it's basically not slab on ground, but the next best thing. That's all I got.
Okay, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. CEO, did you have anything to comment on, address on that? I don't believe there is much else to touch base. You just had some concern for the road.
Yes, basically the public hearing is for the creation of the road if council is deemed to take on ownership of a road that cuts through the development, as well as some of these concerns may be dealt with later on at the next steps, would be a conditional use for the multifamily development. Some of the concerns that Mr. de Voest brought forward regarding the property values, I cannot make a determination on how a development will affect property values in the area. As far as privacy for the backyards, oftentimes what we'll do is we'll look at the development and maybe implement a fence that runs all the way along the back of that property, so that there will be some kind of privacy there. Not 100% sure as to the type of, or style of the aging in place accommodations being made. I don't know if they're two-story or single family or bungalow style, one level. So maybe Councillor Pelletier could comment on that. As far as parking goes, under our new zoning bylaw, these developments are required to have at least 2 parking spaces per property, as well as a 10% for visitor parking. So I believe that site will also be able to accommodate extra parking if required, and that will also be covered in the development agreement if we do proceed to move forward with this. The property is already zoned as an RG, a residential general zone, so I don't know where the comment it's commercial comes from. I'm sorry about that. Water drainage is a problem on the east side with any typical development. In the development agreement, we also make a note that drainage plans must be submitted, so that way there's no effect on neighboring properties. And regarding the septic tanks, it is my understanding that the developer will be putting in a lift station, and this won't affect the neighboring properties as to their septic system.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shield. Those are great comments and answers. I will do one last call if anyone's wishing to make any comments, be it just general comments, or if they're in favor or against, please speak now, in person or online or on the phone.
Joel Sala.
Yeah, go ahead, Joel.
Another question I had is when all this construction starts, is there going to be a designated construction route going in there, or is it going to be just basically whichever way they want to get there?
Yeah, good question. Mr. CEO, do you want to touch on that?
Very good question. If council deems that there should be a construction access route, then that will be put into the development agreement, and we will hold the developer accountable for all construction traffic going through. My suspicion for Joel is that we don't want him going through town, but around the community. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't want them coming down like in front of the school and stuff. But as a going around, there's not a whole lot of options.
Definitely something, as Mr. CEO said, that we will discuss, and council can make suggestions and work with the developer to make sure it's as safe and uninterruptive to the community while they're doing it. Is there anyone else wishing to make any final comments before I close the public hearing? Last call, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:38 p.m. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Councillor Mamchuk moves it, second by Councillor Pelletier.
Therefore be resolved that council approves the subdivision file 4165-21-7982, subject to the following conditions: that a conditional use application is required in order to build the multifamily dwellings in the RG8 zone, that the proposed lots 7, 8, 9 will require a variation order to vary the minimum side areas and site requirements of the RG8 zone as per our bylaw 9-2019, and that the proposed road, public road to be created shall be given a name that is satisfactory to council.
Thank you. I'll open up for council discussion. Council, is there anything to add?
Just these are looking to be single-story bungalows, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
side by side.
side by sides. And the lift station will be going down Arnold Road for this one. So it won't affect, as the CEO had stated, it won't affect the people on Lamoureux Road at all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pelletier. Any other comments? Seeing none, council, please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Council, do you want to take a quick 2-minute refresher before we continue, or are you good to continue?
Good to go.
I'll take 2.
2 minutes? Okay. We'll take a 2-minute break. And leave the recording on and we'll just mute and close the screens. Thank you. Sorry, Council, I got a bit of a lag on my computer here. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
we'll continue Council at 7:43 p.m. We'll move on to item 6.1 bylaw order appeal 38 Main Bay.
The order is registered to Mr. Ken Novotny of 539 Novotny Road in Grand Point. This is in regarding to conditional use order C5 2010. Basically, there are 2 issues with this property. The first one is that the yard lighting used, that the applicant shall ensure that lighting levels do not cause any disruption or nuisance to the neighboring areas or affected roadways. And the second is regarding the storage area shall be kept to the south side of the building. If any storage is placed on the north side or rear of the building, the existing chain link fence on the property, north property lines will require a fence weaving fabric to make it a solid fence. So the property was inspected by Mr. Norbert Alain, sorry, my apologies there. And there were 4 recommendations brought forward on behalf of the order. Council has those. I will not read that out loud. So, Your Worship, it is up to the commissioner or the bylaw enforcement officer to give his case to council. Council could then question and answer the bylaw officer as well as the owner of the property, and then the owner of the property will then have his turn.
Okay, so if council would like, we will get the bylaw officer to make presentation at this time. Go ahead. I believe it's Mr. Norbert Pellon.
Yeah. Do you want me to put the camera on or no?
It's up to you. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Well, maybe my camera won't work. Okay. All right. So I received a complaint on February 11th through the tracker system that was set up. I visited a property on Helena Drive that the back properties are facing the north side of the building at Gotta Go Portable Toilet. There's 3 lights on that side that illuminates the property, which the property doesn't go too far past the building. There is some storage going on there. At the time, there was no fabric on the fence either. And there is overflow of lighting that's hitting the properties on the back there, the backyards. And so, yeah, so I went there on February 16th in probably around 7 o'clock in the evening. Went on somebody's property. Did you want me to say the address of the property?
Sure.
Or do you want to keep confidentiality or no?
I don't know, Mr. Steele, what's the right thing to do?
In order to state a valid case, I would deem it appropriate to offer the address of the property. That way they know where you were. That way they know where you were, right?
Okay, so I arrived at the address at 2734 Halama Drive and spoke to the person that lives there and went to the back of the property, and the lighting does hit the back wall of their property, which their bedroom window faces that side. And so they have the constant light shining on that property. So there was 3 lights on that side of the building that does face there. And so from my recommendations, I wrote up the notice for recommendations is 1, to redirect the mounted floodlights on the northwest side of the complex downward so that they do not illuminate any other property. Residential premises, which is the back properties is all residential here by this building, roadway, street, or private areas in the community of Grand Point, Manitoba. Or shield the floodlights so that they do not cause glare or spill over or become a nuisance to motorists or nearby properties. Or eliminate the spillover glare by using bulbs that are lower in wattage to prevent any discomfort to nearby residential dwellings from glare and spillover. And also complete construction of solid fence on north side of the property to block view of storage. So I've noticed that on February 16th that Louis had gone there, and that has been done. The number 4 has been done. North side is now aligned with tarpaulin material, making it not see-through. But there's still the problem of overspillage of lighting going over the property into the backyards.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments, Mr. Pellon?
At this point, no.
Okay. Mr. Steele, you said if the applicant or the accused has any comments to ask, now's the time, correct?
That or council first, then
Sure, let's do
the owner.
Yeah, let's do council first and then the owner. Council, do you have any comments or questions?
Councilor Belanger, you're muted.
Yes, I know. Too many mice on my desktop. Yes, I do have some questions for Mr. Pellon. When you were there, just to give you a little insight as to where I'm from, I live down the street from Gotta Go, and I walk that area almost every night. So I'm always looking out and looking at it and looking at the situation. And I'm sure you're well aware of it too. There's a lot of lights in that area. There's the trucking company, and the hydro lights. There's just a lot of lighting there. So I was just wondering, in your opinion, could some of that spillage onto the neighboring property be part of those other lights as well?
There might be some, but all those other lights are directed downward, straight down, mostly. And so, but the lights on that building at Gotta Go Portable Toilet, their lights are more directed outward towards the buildings, not like the other lights. Like I know I was looking at those lights at the hydro and the trucking, but all those lights are on poles directing downward.
Okay.
The ones that Gotta Go are actually directing into the backyards more.
So also, there's a hydro right of way in between the two properties. It's quite wide, right? What did we figure? 300 feet, something like that. One night I was there and I was just walking and I'm just looking at, there's a lot of shadow and especially now that the fence is covered with those slats, it seems like that fencing has actually dampened the spill of the lights. So I was just wondering if you thought that that might be a possibility as well, that now that the fencing up it could be covering some of those lights.
Probably it has helped. I haven't gone there since that tarpaulin, that netting has been put on the fence, and so I can't say if it has helped or not. Probably has, but the lights do shine past over that. But I can't say if it has helped or not because I haven't seen. I can't make a comment on something I haven't checked out because I just noticed. I just noticed that was done. That Louis has noticed that on the 16th. So.
Okay. My last question is, speaking on that subject, do you know if there's any physical way of measuring or documenting exactly where that light is spilling? Because what I'm just thinking, I know I'm going to make the comment, you guys going to laugh. I can see the city of Winnipeg lights through my window at night. I can see the street lights through my window at night, but they're not actually coming into my house. So I was just wondering, could this be a matter of that, where you see the lights? I'm not disputing that. I know I've been there. I know that they're quite bright, but you can see the lights. But are they actually coming into the house? Is that documented? Do you have physical evidence of that, or?
I'm just going by what I saw, and also by talking to the person at this home, that the lights actually come right into his bedroom because the bedroom window is to his back of his property. So I'm just going by what I was told, and I saw. If you would walk by the light and see where that shadow is directing behind you, you can see that shadow is coming from those lights. As measuring how much light and all that, I can't say anything about that. That would be outside my field.
Okay, I'm sorry, I do have one other comment.
Sure.
Do you think, possibly even if did an experiment, if Mr. Novotny were to shut his 3 lights off just to see what the surrounding light pollution in that area would look like with his lights off? I just was wondering, I'm just trying to determine where this light pollution, and if we have a hard evidence fact that it is indeed coming from these lights.
I would say that would definitely be a nice experiment to find out how much of it is from his, and if it's from the hydro or trucking company. It would definitely help to find out exactly. Okay. And we could maybe plan on something like that and pick a date and see what we can do.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I got.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Any other comments from council?
None here.
No. Okay, I believe it's Mr. Novotny. Did you have any comments? Councillor Clayton, you're breaking up quite badly there, just so you know. No other.
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me now, but I didn't. No comments. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Is your microwave on?
Is your microwave on? Is your Ninja blender on? You're behind by about 6 seconds, Councillor Clayton, just so you know. Okay, Mr. CEO, next, Mr. Novotny, are you trying to make comment? Sorry. I don't hear anything. Okay, Mr. CEO, now it would be the owner's time to speak, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Mr. Novotny, if you wanted to make any comments or disputes, please go ahead now. Can you hear us? We see a blur. We see you, Mr. Novotny, but we do not hear you. No, we still do not hear.
Call him on
Yeah,
his
maybe
cell
he
phone.
can phone in. He can phone in, yeah.
Very good charades, Mr. Novotny. Thank you.
We'll just wait 1 minute for the call in. What's the number? I believe, and council, correct me if it's wrong, is it 1571-317-3112?
That is correct. And then he'll have to punch the code.
Yeah.
Did you get that? I'll read it again. 1571-317-3112. And then the access code would be 606-793-893 pound hashtag.
Pound.
And is there a PIN that they have to use as well?
That is the
No, I
meeting
think-
code.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the code, no PIN.
Okay. Did you get that? Thumbs up if you got that. Okay.
And you'll want to mute your computer, Ken. Just so it doesn't. Oh, yeah, you're.
Caller 4 came in and then left, so you may have to retry there, Mr. Novotny.
There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, do it one more time.
Yeah, I'll take that off now. Sorry about that. Technology wasn't our best.
I hear you. Yeah, you're working well now.
Yeah. Okay, I was just, yeah, the fence is all covered now. And for me, the lighting is not going over the fence anymore. Just to give you an idea that I live behind, my bedroom lights face my shop and my sunroom, and the lighting doesn't bother me. And just the other day, I was driving to the shop and I met Gord, who lives across from the hydro station, and walking his dog. And I had a conversation with him, asking him if my lighting was bothering him. And he said, no, it doesn't bother him at all. He says he kind of likes the lighting for theft in the area. So, and we like the lighting in our area for our employees for safety purposes and also for insurance. Told us that good lighting deters thieves. The hydro station lights are, to me, a lot brighter facing the highway than it is facing my place. And in between the property of the hydro. And those lights have been there for a long time because I've been living here since '91. And the lighting at Keystone, they've been there for a long time as well. And all the other buildings have basically the same lighting as I do. And I've had my lighting up for a year, and now I'm just getting a complaint now. So I'm just curious on that. And
Safety.
it's a safety, like I say, for the workers. So, and thank you for letting me speak.
I appreciate that, Mr. Novotny. Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Novotny? Go ahead, Councillor Belanger.
Hi, Mr. Novotny, it's Janine here. I just have one question
Hello?
about the lights. Hi, were they on your building when you bought the building?
No, they weren't.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Council, do you have any comments for Mr. or questions for Mr. Novotny? No. Any comment from the bylaw officer? I don't know if that's appropriate to do, Mr. CEO.
It's your hearing.
Wow, I'm honored. Any other comments? Any other comment from the officer?
No, I have no comments.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's it. We will, I'm just trying to open up my screen here again, sorry. Okay, we'll move on. Mr. CEO, now do we, does council go into discussion or do I have to move and second it?
There should be a mover and a seconder, and then council then can debate the proposal that they want to move forward.
Okay, thank you. So I'll call for a mover.
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Clayton.
Councillor Clayton seconds it. Thank you. We'll now go into discussion on how we want to proceed with this. I guess maybe we'll start with Councillor Belanger. This is your ward and you're familiar with the area. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so as I stated before, I walk by there every night. The whole place is lit up. Like we've talked about this before. You can see it from the city. It glows. I remember from Keystone Trucking, the reason for their lighting was for insurance purposes, same as what Mr. Novotny has mentioned. It is an industrial type park. That is businesses. The whole area are businesses. There's a lot of theft that goes on in that area already. I know there's a lot of snowmobiles get stolen out of the caves, the man caves that are there. So I see Mr. Novotny's point, and like I said, I wish there was a better way of measuring the lights, because to me the light is coming from every direction, and to say that it's from these 3 lights, I don't think is a fair assessment. So I don't think there's much that I would like to see done.
Are you asking to motion forward to cancel this?
Yeah, I would like to, Mr. Novotny has fulfilled all the other conditions on his conditional use. He put up a fence, as he was told to. He's put a lot of other stuff, worked with the community. I'm not saying that, but whatever. He's done a lot for his business to try to protect it and make it good. I would like to see this order be canceled.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Belanger. What are the rest of council's opinion on that? Any other?
I agree with Janine.
Councillor Mamchuk agrees with cancellation. We're moving forward to vote on cancellation. Councillor Pelletier, are you okay voting on cancellation?
Yep.
Councillor Clayton, are you okay voting on cancellation?
Yeah, but I do have just one comment on the conditional use. It says if yard lighting is to be used, the applicant shall ensure that the lighting levels do not cause any disruption or a nuisance to the neighboring area or affected roadways. And we have a, sorry?
Yeah. No, that's valid, very valid point. Yeah, we have somebody's complaining about spillage, and it was part of the conditional use. You're absolutely right.
Well, to me, there seems to be about 4 or 5 different properties that lights are coming from, and we don't know what light's really causing the issue. Unless I misunderstood, but doesn't say what if it's the hydro or it's this or that. No concrete evidence there.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. There's no concrete evidence that it's exactly this this one individual site. But, Councilor Clayton makes a good point. But seeing as how we have 3 councillors, I would like to move forward with voting on cancellation. It's not saying we're canceling right now. We will vote on if we want to cancel it. That's the position we will take. So Mr. now we'll go into voting for cancellation. Is that correct? Do you need to read anything else out?
No, basically the resolution would therefore read, therefore be resolved that council cancels conditional use order 25-0321. I don't think it's a conditional use order, but a bylaw enforcement order.
Bylaw enforcement. Okay, thank you. So council, you'll be voting if you would like to see it canceled or not. You can vote as per usual, yes, no, or abstain. Council will go into any final discussion before you vote in regards to canceling the order. Any final comments from council?
None here.
In here.
Council, please cast your vote.
The motion is carried 3-2. Councillor Clayton and Mayor Ewan voted against.
Thank you very much, Mr. CEO. We will move on to item 7.1.1 4165-20-7979 McKee Moffat 3-lot subdivision. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you, Councillor Mamchuk. Move second by Councillor Clayton.
The subdivision that is being proposed is a split of a river lot into 3 parcels on river lot 211. And for council's information, that is just north of Lasco-Leclerc Road along PR 200. So in doing so, by creating these 3 lots, there's going to have to be a public hearing regarding lot 2, because it's going to be, I believe the intent is for someone to build a single family dwelling, which is located in a agricultural limited zone, as well as lot 3 that is going to be created. A variation order will be required to reduce the minimum site area from 80 acres to 40 acres in that agricultural limited zone. So those would be part of the conditions that the applicant would have to meet in order to complete the subdivision, as well as paying capital development fees as they are creating new parcels in the process.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll open up for council discussion. Council, do you have anything to add, comment on?
Nothing here.
Not here.
Council, please cast your vote.
I'm waiting for Councillor Mamchuk.
You should have it now, I think.
7.1.1.
Did you get it?
No. How would you like to vote?
It says, thank you for your vote. Please wait. You should be getting it. If not, yes.
Okay, then that is carried 5-0. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Item 7.1.2 4165-21-7999. Minor, in quotes, Neufeld one lot farmstead. Pardon me.
Correct. This is a subdivision out on Prefontaine Road. I believe the property is just 1 mile north of the northern limit of the Niverville boundary between Niverville and Reachot. This looks like it's a farmstead being subdivided from ag land, so no problems according to us.
Thank you. I just need a mover and a seconder. Mover.
Yes,
Councillor
thank you.
Mamchuk.
Councillor Mamchuk moves, second by, was it Councillor Pelletier?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Mr. Seal, you read everything out correct already? Yeah.
Yes, the applicant will be responsible for dedication fees as they're creating a newly subdivided lot.
Thank you. Council, I'll open this up for discussion. Is there anything to add or comment on? No.
Not here.
Please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 7.2.1, heavy equipment purchase, grader. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Pelletier.
Councillor Clayton.
Councillor Clayton seconds it. Thank you.
I believe this was discussed at the last Public Works meeting, I believe. The 2016 CAT grader is up for trade for renewal. This is part of our equipment rotational process. Public Works is recommending the purchase of a 2021 John Deere 772 grader with some 6-year warranty on there, as well as a wing assembly and the handy hitch. Total cost for the purchase is $261,812, which includes the trade-in value.
Thank you. I'll open up for council discussion. Council, do you have any comments to make? This was discussed in the last meeting. No comments? Please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 7.3.1, March 2021 building permit reports. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Belanger.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you.
Council has a report of the building permits that were issued in the month of March, 23 of them to be more precise, a value of construction of 2.2 million and total fees of $6,500 worth of permits. Basically, there's 2 homes in the business that account for the majority of the value of the 2.2 million. This brings our total to 55 permits at 13.3 million in assessment construction value, as well as $42,200 of building permits at this point in the first quarter of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Great to hear and great to see. Council, do you have any comments to make before we vote on this?
Just a comment, a lot of swimming pools, so we're getting ready.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, council, please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you very much. Moving on to 7.3.2 COVID relief daycares in March. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Councillor Clayton seconds it.
We are no further ahead than we were 9 months ago due to this COVID. So basically the numbers for the daycare haven't changed at all in 2021 so far. Hopefully this so-called third wave will pass us through and we could resume life to normal, hopefully soon.
Thank you. Council will open up for discussion. No issues with this?
I just
Okay.
have a question. Like it says, to be covered from the provincial COVID relief funds. So just to let everybody know that that's where the money's coming from, correct? To take up this slack, this gap, so it's not coming out of our taxpayers, well, not directly out of our taxpayer pockets.
That is correct.
Yeah, just sidely, not directly. Perfect. Okay, cast your vote, please, council.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. And moving on to item number 10, adjournment. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Blanchet.
Thank you. Any final comments? Junior Councillor Gummany, how do you feel about adjournment?
Good.
Good, good. We have to get you in the book somehow. Perfect. Okay, council, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. We'll close the meeting at 8:16 p.m. Thank you, everyone. You can now stop recording.